Hey you, yes, you scrolling right now, have you ever done something kind for a stranger without expecting anything back? Maybe just picked up a dropped toy or opened a door. Well, what if I told you that single moment could change your life forever? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might just remind you how powerful small kindness can be. And by the end, if your heart's moved even a little, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Now, let me take you to a story that started with a squeaky giraffe toy and led to something no one could have expected. The rush of downtown New York was unforgiving. Cars honked like angry geese, the subway screeched underneath like an untamed beast, and the sidewalks were a blur of legs, wheels, and stress. Among that chaos, walked Elena Carter, 26, her coat slightly too big, her coffee already cold, and her resume damp from the drizzle. She had just finished her 4th job interview that week, none had gone well. They smiled, nodded, then said, "We'll be in touch." Which always meant goodbye. She felt like the city had its back turned on her. Her rent was due in 5 days, her fridge had only ketchup and half a lemon, and her inbox had more rejection emails than she could count. But Elena wasn't someone who gave up easily. She had dreams, big ones. Marketing, storytelling, building brands, leaving a mark. But dreams felt so far away now. She stood at the corner of 48th and Lexington, waiting for the pedestrian light to turn green, when she heard it, a soft clatter, almost drowned by the city's noise. A small yellow toy giraffe had fallen onto the sidewalk from a stroller being pushed past her. Without a second thought, she bent down, picked it up, and called out, "Hey! I think you dropped this." The stroller stopped. The man pushing it turned around, looking momentarily startled, then smiled, grateful but weary. "Oh, thank you," he said, his voice calm and rich. "She throws that thing like it's a grenade." In the stroller sat a curly-haired toddler with sleepy eyes and sticky fingers, looking up at Elena like she had just returned her best friend. Elena knelt beside the stroller, smiling at the child. "You gotta hang on to your giraffe, sweetheart. He looks like he's been through a lot." The man chuckled, and for a moment, the noise of the city faded. His smile was warm but tired, his eyes kind but distant. He looked like a man carrying the world on his shoulders, and yet still trying to be present for his daughter. "Thanks again," he said, checking his watch. "I'm late for a thing." "No worries," she replied, brushing her hair back. "I've had a rough day, so this was the best moment of it." He paused, tilting his head. "Really?" She laughed awkwardly. "Yeah, lost job hopes, cold coffee, and wet resumes. But hey, at least the giraffe is safe." The man's eyes lingered for a second longer than expected. "Well, you made one dad's life easier today." They nodded at each other and parted ways. Elena didn't even know his name. But he knew hers, because just before she turned, her resume, tucked under her coat, had slipped out enough to show the name, Elena Carter, printed in bold. He memorized it. 2 days later, Elena received a phone call. "Miss Carter." "Yes," she answered, sitting on her worn-out couch, eating cereal for dinner. "This is Janine from Bloom and Core Media. You applied for our marketing position." Her heart raced. Yes, I did. "Well, our CEO personally requested you to come in for a second interview. Tomorrow, if possible." Elena blinked, confused. "Wait, the CEO?" "Yes, Mr. Blake Rowan." He was very specific. She didn't know who that was. But she wasn't about to ask. The next morning, she walked into one of Manhattan's most prestigious media firms. Her heels clicked nervously as she followed the assistant to the 33rd floor. The office was a vision, glass walls, earthy tones, and soft jazz playing in the background. And behind the large desk stood the man from the sidewalk. The dad, the stranger. He looked up and smiled. "Miss Carter, or should I say, Giraffe Saver?" Elena froze. "You?" He nodded. "Me. I didn't know." "I know," he interrupted kindly. "You didn't need to know. You just did the kind thing anyway." She sat down, still stunned. He leaned forward. "You picked up a toy. But what you really picked up was a moment. A moment most people would walk past. That told me more about who you are than any resume ever could." Elena's eyes stung with tears she tried to hold back. He continued, "My name is Blake Rowan. I started this company from nothing after losing my wife. It's been me and my daughter since. I built this company for people who work hard, who care, who see the things others don't." He paused, then smiled. I don't just want you for the marketing position. I want you to help lead our next campaign. You in?" Alina's lips parted, words lost in her throat. She finally whispered, "Yes, I'm in." That night, as she walked home under the glow of streetlights, Elena thought about how everything changed from that one moment. A simple act, a toy giraffe, a tired dad, and a city that, for once, gave back. And you, yes, you watching this, remember, kindness echoes. You never know who's watching, what doors it'll open, or what hearts it will touch. If this story moved you, if it reminded you to keep your kindness alive in a cold world, then like this video, share it, and subscribe for more real, emotional stories that might just change the way you see the world. Heart so, let me take you deeper into Alina's journey, because what happened after she said, yes, was not the end, it was the beginning of something bigger than she ever imagined. A journey not just of career, but of healing, courage, and unexpected love. If Chapter 1 showed how small kindness can change your path, Chapter 2 will show how love finds its way, even in the chaos of life. So stay with me till the end, and if your heart feels full, if you believe in second chances and silent prayers being answered, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep spreading kindness. Let's begin. Alina's first day at Bloom & Co. was nothing short of surreal. She stepped into a glass tower with her head held high, but her hands still shook with disbelief. Everything in the building screamed success, the smell of strong coffee, the crisp buzz of creativity, and the hum of ambition. But for Elena, it wasn't about luxury. It was about survival, about proving that she was worth the second chance a stranger gave her because of one moment of kindness. Her desk was by the window, sunlight pouring in like quiet encouragement. She was assigned to lead the rebranding project for the company's largest client, a children's toy brand. "I figured you have a soft spot for toys," Blake had joked during orientation, his warm smile softening his otherwise intense demeanor. But what surprised Elena most wasn't the position or the prestige. It was how involved Blake was. Unlike most CEOs who operated from behind mahogany desks and only emerged during crisis, Blake was there, in meetings, brainstorming sessions, even sketching rough logo ideas beside interns. Still, despite his approachability, there was a line he never crossed. He was polite, respectful, even kind, but distant. His focus was always split, between the company and his daughter, Lila. Elena would often hear him stepping out of meetings mid-sentence to take calls from her nanny. Sometimes, she'd catch him staring at a picture on his desk. A woman with gentle eyes, holding a baby, Lila's mother. His late wife. And that's when it hit Elena. Blake wasn't just running a company. He was holding together a broken home, wearing a brave face for his daughter, while quietly grieving the woman he loved. She admired him, but she also kept her distance. Weeks passed. Projects soared. Elena's creativity bloomed under freedom and trust. The company began calling her the heart of the campaign. Sales projections were already rising. Blake noticed. "You've done something here," he told her one afternoon. "You didn't just tell a story. You made people feel it." She smiled. "It's what I've always wanted to do." "Why marketing?" he asked. "Because words saved me," she answered, eyes flickering. "When I had no one, stories kept me going." Blake's gaze lingered on her for a moment longer than usual. "I get that." One rainy Tuesday, the nanny called in sick. Blake had to bring Lila to the office. Most executives might have panicked. But Blake, he strapped the toddler into a baby carrier and conducted meetings with dinosaur stickers on his shirt. But Lila was restless. She missed her mom, though she couldn't remember her. She missed her dad, though he was always around. Elena saw the little girl curled in a beanbag in Blake's office, tear stains on her cheeks, hugging her weathered giraffe. And she couldn't take it. She knocked gently and stepped inside. "Mind if I read her a story?" she asked. Blake looked up, surprised, but grateful. "Please." Elena sat beside the little girl, opened a picture book from the shelf, and began to read. And something happened. Lila leaned into her, then climbed onto her lap, then giggled at the silly voices Elena made. And by the end of the story, she was asleep in Elena's arms, fingers still gripping the giraffe. Blake walked in, watched them for a moment, then whispered, "You're good with her." "I had to grow up fast," Elena whispered back. "I helped raise my little brother." From that day on, things changed. Elena wasn't just the creative lead. She was someone Lila ran to every time she visited the office. Someone Blake trusted not just professionally, but personally. They started working late together. Laughing more. Sharing dinners after meetings that turned into hours of storytelling. One night, they stayed in the office late, eating takeout and watching Lila draw smiley suns on a whiteboard. You know, Blake said quietly, this was never part of my plan. What wasn't? Elena asked, letting someone in again. Silence. But you made me believe it might be okay. To feel again. Elena looked at him, heart pounding. You made me believe I wasn't invisible. They stared at each other. And for the first time, the space between them wasn't just professional. But they didn't kiss. Not yet, because healing isn't a straight line. The launch of the campaign was a grand success. The client doubled their budget. Blake gave a speech about resilience, about human connection, about how toys connect generations. He ended by giving credit to a woman who saw the story before anyone else did. The crowd cheered. Elena stood beside him, not just proud, but whole. That night, after everyone had left, Blake found her on the rooftop terrace, sipping tea. She's sleeping, he said. Lila wanted to give you this. He handed her a drawing. A stick figure version of Elena, holding a giraffe. Elena laughed, then choked up. She drew me. She loves you, Blake said softly. Elena turned to him. What about you? He stepped closer. I don't know when it happened. Maybe it was the toy. Maybe the story. Maybe the way you made my daughter laugh when I couldn't. He paused. But I know now. I love you. Tears filled Elena's eyes. I never thought my life would mean something to someone like you. You made it mean something to me, he whispered. And then, he kissed her. Soft, real, grateful, not like in the movies. But better, because it was earned. Months later, Elena didn't just work at Bloom & Core. She helped run it. She moved into a sunlit apartment, where she decorated Lila's room herself. She still picked up little toys from the floor, but now she tucked them into a bedtime drawer beside bedtime stories. She was no longer invisible. No longer a stranger walking past life. And Blake, he was no longer broken. He was building something new, with her. Movie camera to viewers. So, maybe next time you see a fallen toy, or a stranger in need, don't walk by. Because sometimes, the smallest act can change everything. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more real, emotional, life-changing stories that remind us all to keep hoping, loving, and showing up, even when no one's watching. You never know when your moment will come. You never know who you're about to meet. And you never know how one little giraffe might change your world. Heart.